Today, I am in Springfield, Missouri. Currently in the Walmart parking lot, but I'm heading over to our terminal. And I didn't really want to, but I've got to fix this auxiliary power unit, this APU, as it's commonly called. The starter is not functional, and the shop, I called them earlier and they're just booked up. They said, "We're not getting it fixed today. You'll have to wait." And I'm like, "No, I'm not giving up my load. I'm not waiting." I said, "How about if I get a starter from you guys? Will that starter still be covered under warranty?" He said, "Yeah, if you want to do it, you can do it." So I'm going to be replacing a starter on my Rigmaster APU. Yeah, thankfully it's not one with the crawler engine in it. It's the other engine. I don't know exactly what it is. So here we go. Okay, here we are at the terminal. Checked in, checked out. Now it is time to work on the APU. First thing I have to do is disconnect the battery. They're in this hole here, and I need to unhook these cables that go to the APU, so it won't be a live wire down there. Now I'm thinking that that's a 9/16 way up in there. I'm thinking that's what I haven't been under the hood of a truck in a while, so I'm just not sure. Yeah, that looks like it. So undo the cables first. Like I said, don't want any live wires. Of course, this is going to destroy electricity to all the truck components. There we go. There they are. Should be dead. And to check it, we'll just touch them. Just tap them to a ground. And we see that's still live. And it was. Not live any longer. Anyway, there they are undone. Alright. There's the start. Next, remove this cover. It's a simple matter of these latches down below, the bottom end of it, and it just lifts off. I can't handle the camera and do this task at the same time, so you just have to trust that it's not. There it is, the cover is removed, and here is the little booger right here. The starter is down here. Look how close it is to the alternator. You know, I bet that's not even a quarter of an inch. So the alternator is going to have to be rotated up and out of the way. But there's about 1 inch room here. So I believe this side cover will have to come off next. It's held on with a series of screws along the edges. Shouldn't take too long. Once again, I cannot hope. Okay, here we go. Got my little sit-on bucket here. I hope it's durable enough for me. Yeah, maybe. Take these screws out. My sweet wife got me these tool kits quite a few years ago. I love them. There's a few sockets missing, and that's to be expected, I guess. So I'm going to take the cover off the side. After I removed a few screws, I think that all I have to do is just pull this out of the way, and that alternator will swing up far enough. Let's see. placed in a direct, a direct line. As you see, this exhaust manifold gets in the way, so that wobble works just right. The top bolt on the alternator is a swivel. It's a pivot point, so you don't have to take it all the way out. You don't even want to take it all the way out, because then you would have to reposition the alternator. We're going to take this one all the way out. And I have to take this bolt all the way out. So instead of, and it's kind of stuck, so instead of tapping on the end of the bolt, I leave the nut on there so it don't damage the thread. So I'm going to tap on that and see if it'll move forward. Sorry about all the noise. Yes, and it does, it moves. Now, I know that I'm not having to drive on it very hard, so I can go ahead and take the nut all the way off. But I can't do it with my bare hands. Got to have an extension. That socket. There we go. Uh-oh, I dropped it. Damn, I dropped it. I didn't want to drop it. I'll never find it. Never find it. I'll get a nut for it when I go in the shop. Whoop, dropped the washer too. That's the way it goes. Whoa, it's upside down. The manifold is attached by these 4 screws here, and then 2 up here. I've had to take these off before to do an alternator belt, so I'm not unfamiliar with it. But I've only got so many hands, and I don't have a real camera. I have a cell phone. Well, I ran out of a little bit of luck. These 2 bolts broke off. We'll see how hard that is to replace or repair. But this should come loose anyway. Should. I don't know why it won't. I can probably break it loose. I might have to tap on it or something. But it should come loose. Well, I discovered that it's a flexible pipe, and that I can just push it up out of the way, and it gives me enough room to get my alternator out of the way. A bit of good luck today, just a bit. You know what? This bending over hurts my back. I'm not made out of what I used to be made out of. Oh no, and this thing's gonna start back up. There were dogs over there. And they're big loud dogs. Very irritating. Here we go. Fire up, baby. Now I gotta take these wires off and take these 2 bolts out. Well, I've got it out. And it was a tight son of a gun too, I'm telling you. Tight, 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 tight. Those starter bolts. I haven't seen anything quite that tight since I worked on a Mazda pickup. The bell housing bolts. And Suzu's pretty damn tight too. Now I have retrieved this bolt, so I need to get a nut and a washer. So they went down in a hole. I can't get to them, but at least I got the bolt. Alright. Well, I've got it all apart. Get the new starter laying here, various new bolts, air filter, a new belt, gaskets, and put it together with no old gaskets. And just before I go back together with it, I see it's a little oily around this compressor fitting. So I'm gonna put a socket on there and cinch it up a little bit. That's what I'm gonna do. Go back together with it. Sir. I'm tired though. God, I get tired easy these days. Well, How's it go? Like this. I guess not. Like this. Alright, starter's bolted back in nice and tight. Next, hook up this blue wire. It goes from the, well, if it was a car, it'd go from the ignition switch. You know, like when you turn the key to start, it's the start signal for the starter. So it goes on next. And I took it out of this loom so I'd have a little more flexibility to it. But it's very difficult to get the two, so it's going to be next. Well, I got that bolt tight. Now that's plugged in. This is plugged in back here, the starter wire. The ignition wire right here. And now I just kind of have to bump this alternator and get it back in its bracket. There we go. Everything's so compact. It's just ridiculously tight in here. Now I've got to zip tie everything back together or the exhaust will burn everything up. Okay, I've got this adjustment bolt in here. Clean it as far in as I can because now we put the belt on. And we got the belt in it. Now I've got to find some way to pry on the alternator so I can tighten it up. Oh boy. I don't know. I don't know what to do. This belt's got to be tight though, or it'll squeal like a stuck pig. I used a screwdriver and a bungee. That'll hold tension on it while I tighten it up. Okay, the alternator's tightened up. Now the belt's nice and tight. Take this off. Ooh, what now? That's on again. Loud reefer unit's on. Alright, the starter's bolted down. The alternator's tight. Now let's tie some wiring up so it doesn't get tangled up in the exhaust. So we gotta stuff all this back into the loom and put a couple of zip ties on it. Okay, got my zip ties on there. Now just snip off the ends of them. Snip them off. What is the matter with these cutters? There. Nice and neat. Now it's time for the exhaust. Okay, I got these bolts in. I just need to tighten them up. The hardest thing about this is getting the bottom one in. You have to reach your hand under the exhaust and push on it while you wiggle on this pipe with the cover on it. And just kind of line it up because you got to line this up with the frame with this exhaust pipe. It's kind of a pain in the rear. Don't worry about this yet. Do that first because there's three things to line up there. Now we'll line this up. Don't tighten up anything until you get all the bolts started. I tighten up these bolts first because this one has flanges on it. And that way I don't have any binding. My only regret is I broke the wire that holds some of that insulation on. So I don't know what I'll do. I'll find something to tie it back up. Not a big deal. The exhaust is all tightened up. While I'm getting close, I tightened up the air conditioner fitting. And I think all I need to do now is to put the side panel back on it. Strap down that switch and put the fuses in and see if it fires up. I mean, that's what I do next. Now it's time to put the fuses in, since I've got the side panel bolted back on, the one that has the fan on it, and we'll reconnect them to the battery. and see what happens. Is in. Now let's do the other one. Alright, both of them are in now. Now to connect them to that post back there. Here's where it gets kind of scary. Go. Now to connect back. I don't like this part. Alright, here we go on this one. Ooh, scary as hell. Scary, I'm telling you. Let me get my test light. It's scary, scary, scary. See a couple little sparks. I mean, something's powering up. And really, that's good news. It's just scary, that's all. Just a little bit scary. Not that I'm scared. It's just a little bit scary. Put it on this one instead. This looks like it makes more sense. Yeah, there we go. Alright. The right size. Yep. Went ahead and snapped the covers on. I'm gonna go inside to this dirty truck. God, it seems like I clean every day, all by myself. And we push the power button, and look, it comes on. And we auto start. And we want arrow 1. Safety switch. That's a good thing. Clear it. We want to go temperature down. Alright. So we went on temperature automatic. Now we go outside. That safety switch, we got to trip it, and it should start. If this starter's any good, it should start. Yet usually pretty quick, like 10 seconds or so. Not running yet. Let's look in here and see if we got any codes we might need to clear or something. May have been 100% unsuccessful. Auto start. Let's push the start button. See what happens. Glow plug. I don't hear it yet. Uh-oh. It cranked. I hear it running. I had success. That is how you replace a starter on an APU, a Rigmaster APU.